So today, to fortify our economic strength, my colleagues and I are announcing a series of ambitious new measures to protect, build, and transform our strategic industries. These are the sectors where workers and businesses have been impacted by those tariffs and trade disruptions. And we're building on our recent initiatives to help transform Canada's steel and lumber sectors. The measures today will help workers acquire the skills and businesses to retool their production, businesses to diversify their products and markets, and, crucially, spurring more demand right here at home for Canadian businesses. The first and foremost, the foundation, is Canadian workers. And we're going to support Canadian workers so they can drive Canada's economic transformation with new skills training and help them seize the exciting, high-paying careers that that transformation will create. To build a strong, confidence workforce that will help propel our economy forward, the government is introducing a new, robust reskilling package to train 50,000 workers. This package will include new methods such as employer-based training and targeted outreach to workers. We will automatically enroll new employment insurance claimants to our new jobs matching program and introduce a new platform with a skills to job tool to make job searches easier and match people more quickly to new jobs, connect them to training opportunities and career counseling. We'll leverage digital technologies and artificial intelligence to help working Canadians find training courses, supported by partnerships with companies such as Indeed, Jefferyhome, Career Beacon, ZipRecruiter, and eCampus Ontario. We'll also launch new sector alliances across industries, unions, and governments to coordinate recruiting and retraining efforts. And finally, we'll adapt employment insurance to provide a bridge to laid-off workers, giving them the time they will need to pivot. This will include providing long-tenured workers with up to 65 weeks of benefits. That's 20 more weeks than they have access to today. And we'll waive the one-week waiting period for over 700,000 claimants. The second major initiative that we're announcing today is a new $5 billion strategic response fund to help Canadian businesses adapt, diversify, and build that new economy. This fund has three core objectives. First, to help businesses pivot to new products and markets. Secondly, to retrain and retain skills and production here in Canada. And thirdly, to make our businesses globally competitive. So businesses can use these funds to invest in the design of new products, to retool their plants to boost productivity, or to offset the costs of accessing new markets. And the fund will be open to all sectors, given the fact that the tariff impacts are wide-ranging across Canadian industries. The priority
is to provide support to those sectors most affected by the tariffs, such as lumber, steel, aluminum, and auto. This strategic policy will be implemented through our new sectoral alliances to make sure that these investment projects are not challenged by the labor market. Thanks to better coordination between the industry and workers, we will be able to train workers effectively and provide them with new jobs in the sectors of tomorrow.
The third major thing we're announcing today is a comprehensive Buy Canadian policy. We are on a mission to build Canada strong through major infrastructure projects, through that modern defense industry, and by building millions of more homes. In that mission, the public sector can serve as an anchor customer for Canadian businesses. But for that to happen, a lot of things must change. At present, Canada's public procurement is following outdated rules of that old free trade order that no longer exists. For years, we've been buying as a government significantly from foreign suppliers for short-term gain. Now we need to use government procurement using Canadian taxpayer dollars to spur Canadian businesses for longer-term prosperity. To support Canadian industries, the government's introducing a new comprehensive Buy Canadian policy that will move from best efforts to buy Canadian to a clear obligation to do so. And when Canadian suppliers are truly unavailable, we'll require local consent and purchases from trusted partners. And these cases will be the exception, not the norm. They'll have to be approved by ministers. We'll apply this approach beyond a narrow definition of the federal government to all federal agencies and all federal crown corporations, leveraging every dollar the federal government spends and invests. And finally, we're going to cut out red tape and simplify access for businesses to those federal procurement opportunities. This is an approach that can also help serve as a roadmap that could be adopted by provinces, territories, and municipalities. Canada is
a proud proponent of free trade agreements. We respect them, and we will continue to strengthen them with reliable partners. At the same time, we must increasingly leverage our own resources. In the European Union, 3/4 of the steel being used is produced there. However, in Canada, we often export almost 60% of those materials and import finished products instead.
We will build more with Canadian steel, Canadian lumber, Canadian technology, Canadian workers. We will build big, build bold, build Canadian. Now, I said a moment ago when I started that this is a rupture. It's a big change that's being forced on us in a short period of time. So we need to provide immediate liquidity relief to businesses. There's immense change in a short period of time, and businesses that have relied most heavily on the trade with the United States, such as the auto sector, will need temporary immediate relief from liquidity pressures. Businesses need time to reposition themselves for the future. And for small and medium-sized businesses, the Business Development Bank of Canada will increase loans, the maximum loan size to help with this, from $2 to $5 million. For largest businesses and larger businesses, the Large Enterprise Tariff Loan Facility will provide flexible financing at scale with lower interest rates and longer maturities. We're going to implement these changes immediately to ensure that our businesses can bridge the gap to the future. And it's not all about money. Some of it is about regulation. So to add flexibility to the automotive sector, we will remove the 2026 electric vehicle availability standard, which specifies the share of new vehicle sales that must be electric next year. This will provide immediate financial relief to automakers at a time of increased pressure on their competitiveness. And the government will begin immediately a 60-day review of the EV standard to identify future flexibilities and ways to reduce costs. And we'll advance new options to bring more and more affordable electric vehicles to Canadians. And fifth, we're announcing today that we're acting to protect Canada's agriculture and seafood industries. I'm going to focus on Canadian canola, which has been hit with Chinese tariffs. Also Canadian beef that's been subjected to unjustified trade action since 2021, and Canadian lobsters since March of this year. To strengthen these sectors, Canada's government will introduce a new biofuel production incentive, providing more than $370 million to assist domestic producers and help them restructure their value chains. We will make targeted amendments to the clean fuel regulations to spur the development of a vibrant biofuels industry in Canada. And will increase the loan limits for Canadian canola producers to $500,000 and invest in agri-marketing and trade diversification measures to support our entire agriculture and seafood sectors. En mars, notre gouvernement a annoncé une initiative régionale.
Our government announced a regional response initiative for small and medium-sized businesses affected by U.S. tariffs. The goal was clear: spur investment, introduce new products into the market, and adopt innovative technologies. Today, we are going even further. We are expanding that program by increasing the funding from $450 million to $1 billion. We are also extending the timeframes for repayment up to 9 years, and offering new non-repayable contributions of up to $1 million in every sector, including agriculture and fish products. Because the Canadian economy rests on the work of small and medium-sized businesses. And if we want to build the economy of tomorrow, they must invest massively now.
The mission that is guiding Canada's new government, the North Star that we follow, is building lasting economic strength for Canadian workers and their families. With economic uncertainty making it challenging for the private sector to invest, government must act.